everyone, and welcome back to Weekend Bytes with me, your host Manya. Today we have with us the very handsome and talented model. He began his journey at a very young age and clearly has proved himself to be extremely successful in the field. Please welcome Joshua. Hi, how are you?
Hi Manya. Hi everybody. Good morning. I'm doing great. How are you all doing?
All good. Hopefully everyone else is also doing well. Please give a little introduction. Yes. Please give a little introduction about yourself to our audience.
So, as you said, my name is Joshua, and I'm basically half Indian, half Nigerian, and I'm a fashion model based out in Bangalore currently. So it's been almost 9 years that I'm in this profession now, and I'm loving it. There have been ups and downs and stuff, but yeah, it's been great so far.
All right, that's great. So, like you mentioned, you're half Indian. So, were you born here?
Yes, I was born in Calcutta.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically my mom is Goan, Calcutta based, if that makes sense actually. And my dad is from Africa. So I was raised in Africa and Kolkata at the same time.
Oh, all right. That's interesting.
It is. Thank you.
Yes. If we talk about your modeling career, you began, like I mentioned in the introduction also, you began modeling at a very young age, about 15, 16. So how did your journey begin and how has that experience been for you so far?
Well, the journey has been good for me. It began, I would say, 8 years back. It started off with me being this introvert kid who was really shy off the camera and very shy to like go out there and put himself out there. But I was lucky to have a friend who came down from the US, and she kind of like got me, but why not try this out? It might be a good field for you. But I was a little bit hesitant initially. So behind my back, she took out some candid pictures, and then when she showed them to me, I kind of said, okay, wow, I like the pictures. So that's what gave me the confidence to actually try it out. When I tried it out and I started getting a lot of recognition is when I started loving the profession. And slowly by slowly, things started moving up. I was lucky to have a photographer friend as my classmate who kind of helped me grow more, because he used to take my pictures and make it like a barter system, exchange system kind of thing. So when he took one of my pictures, it was seen by some jewelry companies, and they hired me to work for them. And after that, another brand saw my pictures, and then step by step, it kept moving up and up and up the ladder. And since then, I am where I am today right now. So it's been a good journey, but there has been a lot of topsy-turvy curves, downward spiraling. So yeah.
All right.
But
Okay, so like you said, your modeling career began just, out of a sudden, all of a sudden, like your friends started clicking pictures of you. So you didn't have any plans of becoming a model beforehand. So was there any other profession that you wanted to carry forward?
Yes, there was. So I wanted to be a pilot actually.
Okay.
Because one of my family was all in the aviation industry. But I started studying for it, but then because of my eyesight, I couldn't do it anymore.
Okay.
So the second option was to be a crew, a flight attendant.
Mm-hmm.
But then before I could get my hands on that job, I got so interlocked with the fashion world that I forgot all about that. And I grew up just modeling, and it's like a part of me which cannot go away right now.
Mm-hmm.
So changing streams for me would be a little difficult, I would say. But if I do get the opportunity to do it, yes, I would, because side by side having another proper job is really good,
right.
Honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So would you say your modeling career, like you said, a stable job, would you say modeling career is stable for you at the moment? Is a stable career?
For me,
Yes.
at the moment, no. It's
No.
not stable right now. Yeah. It's a bit, I would say. But initially it was.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, up and down. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it goes high, it goes lower. So you just have to hang in there.
Alright.
At the end of the day, the key to succeeding in the modeling industry is patience.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So you mentioned you got very attached to not attached. You said you were you got very involved with the fashion industry. So what is it that attracts you towards that industry, and what is it that attracts you towards modeling in overall?
I would say the glamour and the glitz.
Glamour. Okay.
Glamour.
I
really
that answer.
Yeah, it is. It's there are a lot of all these fashionable outfits there, and then glitters and shiny things. For me, that's what like. If I see anything shiny or any outfit, I'm like, that's my calling. That's mine. That's mine.
Everyone has their own style. Shine is yours.
Yeah.
Okay, so you also mentioned there are a lot of ups and downs in your life and your journey even so far. So we'll come to that later, but what would you say has been your best memory and your worst memory about being in the industry?
So the best memory was being able to work for good designers and traveling, to work for all the big brands, being on Vogue Italia thrice and Elle India once. Those were kind of my best journey.
Okay.
And I would say is getting rejected multiple of times for years and years, and then having to not get paid, having to compromise. But no, I didn't do it, but people ask you and all that stuff, but then you know how the industry can get really vile at times.
Right.
So yeah, so those have been the good and bad.
Mm-hmm. All right. So is there any particular shoot or work that you've done so far that you're proud of?
My Vogue
Your
Vogue
work?
shoots.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you get into that?
I don't know. So basically, like I said, one of the photographers who shot me while I started modeling 8 years ago, that was the first picture to go on Vogue. And then after that, it was seen. My picture kept being seen by Vogue, and then uploading it again and again.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not like they contact you directly. So this how Vogue Italia works is very different from how Vogue India works.
All right.
So basically, it depends on the photographer, not on the model. So the photographer has to upload a picture, and then every week, Vogue Italia picks the top best picture which they want to upload on their page, on their website and magazine. And luckily, I was put up 3 times so
Congratulations.
far. Thank you.
All right, I think that's great. It's huge deal to be on the cover. Be on Vogue, and also like you mentioned, other big magazines. I think that's a big achievement.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, moving further, if we talk about you as an individual, you earlier used to identify yourself as an introvert. So in the modeling industry, would you say communication and building contacts is a crucial part of becoming a model? So being an introvert, how did you deal with the pressure?
Okay. So first off, absolutely, it is important to be out there and make contacts. But me being an introvert was really hard initially because I didn't know how to approach a person. But I think over time, watching how people went and spoke to one another or spoke to clients and stuff, that's how I got the mindset of how I'm supposed to interact with someone else. And lucky enough, I work as a scout for an agency.
Okay.
So I used So I got a chance to talk over the phone to a lot of production house and brands. So that way, that also built my confidence level. So that when I'm actually in person with them, I would be able to talk and not be able to hesitate and know the right words to speak and how to convince and persuade the client.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how I worked about it.
I think that's a great confidence builder that you started off with, that. I think that why your confidence gradually built and you began to communicate with people well?
Yeah, basically that's it. And then like, I just kind of got this thing like I should just check out the introvert side. And now like everybody knows me as an extrovert kind of person. I'm really open and out. So like the first thing I do at an event is like, oh, this person seems interesting. Let me go and talk to that person. That's it. I just go to the person, I start talking, collaborating, get to know the person first. So now it's become a habit now. So I don't feel shy anymore at all. And that's one thing which, and that's one thing which modeling does help you to break out of that shyness actually.
Shyness, right. I'm sure. Honestly, I never would have guessed that you ever had been an introvert, seeing your pictures and seeing your Instagram page. No one can ever tell that you were an introvert. Your pictures are absolutely stunning. And you're so confident. You're so confident when you pose. No one can tell you're an introvert. I swear, no one can. But I'm sure you're not anymore. You were before. So I think you'll pass that stage.
You give it a go.
I think that's great. So, coming on not a lighter note, what would you define as your biggest struggle that you faced in the industry?
The rejection and discrimination.
All right. What do you mean when you say discrimination?
Discrimination based on color and race.
Okay.
Like, a lot of people in the industry don't like to work with people who are of Black origin or dark skin at times. Like, not just me, but even Indian people who are dark skin, Like, the thing about the fashion industry in India is like, they want fair.
Right.
And like, so they actually do hire models from Brazil and outside India who are the white Caucasian models.
Okay.
Whereas they don't even hire the models from India itself. So I have faced similar things. Like for me being like really dark brown skin, they never choose to choose me initially until I made my mark and my stand.
Okay.
And like once I have done that, it has become better, but it's not the best yet. So I'm just seeing like, what's the next step basically for me? Is it here or move out? So
okay. Okay. So like you mentioned, you faced a lot of discrimination. So what is it that kept you going?
So I have this motto which of mine that says keep moving forward. It's a famous motto. I first heard it in a cartoon called Meet the Robinsons.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's about this father who tells his son to keep moving forward every time he has a backlash and downfall. And growing up, being in India, away from my dad for so many years, I didn't have that. So I used to just keep thinking about this, keep moving forward, and just ignore all the negativity. So every time anything negative happens to me, I just like, in my mind, I kind of like black it out and just look ahead to what my goal is, my main goal and achievement, and focus on that. And that kind of helps me to just do my thing every day.
All right.
So, yeah.
Or whatever helps you to keep going. I think that's great that you have a motto in life. Not everyone has one. I think it's great that you have. But would you say that now the modeling industry nowadays, if I'm talking about recent times, has become more inclusive and diverse? Or is it, would you say it's the same as before?
Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 7 right now.
Okay.
They are yeah, it is there. They haven't reached the level which they are supposed to reach, but I'm pretty sure in a few years they would. Maybe 5 years max.
Wow, okay.
But yes, the level is it's there. It's good. They need to work a little harder to inculcate such habits.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Moving forward, you're quite open with your sexuality, which is great. So, if you talk about earlier times, was there acceptance in the beginning, and to what extent did that or does it affect you?
In the beginning, there wasn't any acceptance at all.
Okay.
Be it from my family or be it from the industry point of view. But then as I grew and as I showed everybody that this is me, this is what I want, I think everyone has come to learn how to accept it. Because the thing about sexuality is like it's not a choice, it's something which just happens, right? So you have to just learn how to deal with it. So I've seen the industry point of view, they don't know how to deal with it that well. Sometimes people take advantage of a person or a guy or a girl who is of a different sexuality, right? But you know, the thing is, I'm not getting the right word actually. I'm sorry, I can't get the right word. Anyways, let that pass. I won't keep doing it. Anyways, yeah. So I think the industry, when it comes to sexuality, they are starting to get open about it, and they're like inculcating the habit of taking people with different sexuality. But it's not really strong. They're not like taking everybody. For me, it's like, because I'm very versatile and I'm able to switch from portraying my true self and portraying the straight self. So I'm able to like merge and blend into what the society or what the industry wants, which not everybody is able to, not everyone can do that. It's a thing which you have to learn how to do.
Are you happy doing that? Like, merging into what?
I'm not happy doing that. I just want to be my true self. But then for me to be able to get work in the industry over here, I have to right now. I can only hope that in the future that other people, other guys and girls like me don't have to go through the same situation or go down this road.
Right.
Because it takes like a mental toll over your mind at times.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's very sad. I think everyone should be able to portray their true selves to the world out there, especially if you're working somewhere in the industry. You should be who you are, but it's I'm glad that you're able to do both the sides. You're able to merge well in the industry, but at the same time, as you said, you're not that happy doing it, but
yeah.
I think that's how the world is. That's how things roll.
Well, it is what it is after all.
Yes, that's what. Okay, let's move on to a lighter note. Is there any brand or designer that you look forward to working with in the future?
I would say Moschino's, Versace, Dolce & Gabbana, YSL, Alexander McQueen, all these.
There are a lot.
God, I can keep naming if I don't want to name a lot of them.
Well, I hope you work with them soon. You're very good at your work. I'm sure you'll get opportunities ahead.
I hope so. My fingers are literally crossed every single day.
Don't worry, you will get through this. So, what are your interests other than modeling? What do you like to do in your free time?
So, I sing, I like to cook, I like to do DIY crafts and stuff.
All right.
Also, like, I do a lot of adventures, I think, just like nature stuff.
Okay.
In the sense, basketball, swimming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
All
about
right.
it.
You're on the athletic side. Right.
Kind of, yes. I used to be when I was in school, I was an athlete. So I used to run, and I was more into high jump and long jump.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But I grew up in high school. I didn't get the chance to do that because the school which I was in, again, was in Northeast India.
Okay.
So, everyone is short, right? So, and me being the tall one, I wasn't allowed to play basketball or play certain sports because of my height and of the height difference. So gradually in 7-8 years, I lost that touch with sports and I lost the interest in it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Understand.
So if I did had a chance to go back and do it, I would have been persistent and said, I don't care what you say, I am going to play the sport whether you like it or not.
Right.
But I was, like I said, I was the introvert and very quiet person back then, so I just kept my mouth shut.
Okay. All right. So are there any profits or non-profits or causes that you believe in or are a part of?
I'm not a part of any non-profit organization right now, but I have a thing for kids.
Okay.
So if I had to work for an NGO, it would surely be for children.
All right. Okay.
Like I've always been able to gel well with kids because, like for example, in my church has an NGO which deals with kids and kids education and schooling and stuff. So every Sunday, or I think Sunday or Monday, just basically once a week, they take a bunch of students to go feed them and like just teach them stuff and all. And I was very indulged in that, and then especially with the poor kids, it breaks my heart to see how they're living and what's going on in their lives and stuff. So I kind of like to be really involved in such kids' life. I wouldn't say privileged, but I want to be able to do something for the underprivileged kids,
Right. Yes.
So if I get a chance to do it, I would definitely do it.
Okay, that's amazing. That's great. Okay,
Yeah.
Coming to our last question. So if I were to ask you any one thing that you could change about your journey or anything about your life up till now, what would it be and why?
One answer to that, I would literally change my whole perspective to life. Actually, two answers basically. That's one. And the second one was not be an introvert.
Okay.
If I could change it, I would have been an extrovert from the time I was born, I would say, because it's like I've lived two different lives, being that introvert person, just keeping my mouth shut, not being able to do or say what I want to.
Right.
Now I can because I have that confidence, and if I had that confidence back then, I think things wouldn't be what it is right now.
Right.
If it makes sense.
Yes, it does. Of course, it does.
Yeah. So yeah, these are the two things which I would change.
There are a lot of times when people, like you said, I've got a lot of friends who were introverts before, but now finally when they started to open up and become confident, they're like, that time, why didn't I do this? If I would have done this, it would have turned out like this. And I'm like, well, I've been telling you from the beginning, but it's not in your hands. It's really not in your hands.
Well, I didn't have anyone to tell me about all this. So basically everything I've learned by myself on the way. Mm-hmm. Although I will give credits to my sisters, of course, because my sisters were a part of my life, really deep into my life. So they kind of nudged me and pushed me every now and then to do this, to do that, taught me how to gain my confidence during the phase of my modeling. So they also helped me build my confidence up too.
Okay, I think it's important to have people around you telling you that, okay, this is what you should do. But you learn on your
You should.
own, but there's always confidence. If people are around you, you build more confidence that way.
Absolutely, yeah. Because there are a lot of things which you can't do on your own. You have to learn one thing. There's one thing about the humans, they don't like to ask for help. A lot of people don't like to ask for help. I was one of that person. But I think the key is you need to learn how to ask for help at times. Just be vulnerable at times. I'm not saying to be excessively vulnerable, but sometimes just be vulnerable and just go ahead and ask, okay, help me with this. And then that's how you slowly learn. So the next time, you don't have to ask again.
Right.
And there's one more thing which I want to say is like, which I have learned. Like, I told the girl who helped me in the industry.
Yes.
So the one thing which she told me was pass it forward. Back then, I didn't understand what it means. Now I understand what it means. So every time anyone comes to me and asks me to help them, I help them, and the one thing I tell them is pass it forward, even if they don't understand it.
They will eventually, like you did.
You will eventually get to know it, but then I hope they do, because I believe in karma, and I think karma is, I don't want to say it.
I know. I think everybody knows it's fine. Everybody got you.
But anyways, so that's all I have to say.
All right.
Yeah.
That's great. I love your perspective. Like you mentioned, perspective about your life. I love your perspective towards life. I think it's very positive, and it has become very positive, and it's great. And I'm glad that you became the extrovert that you've become today. All right, that's great. Thank you so much for being here with WMH India today. It was an absolute pleasure speaking with you. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me on board. I'm really pleased, thankful, very thankful for being on your show. Hopefully in future again, we can do something like this and I can be much more better, because I really enjoyed it. Honestly, thank you. All I can say is thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. I enjoyed it too. Thank you so much. And of course, we love to have you back. And to everyone else, I will be back next week with another guest. Stay safe and stay tuned. Thank you. Thank you so much.